As usual, the social side of the equation had its budget cut, so I see we're down to about 25 minutes to get you all to lunch on time, but we'll try to be efficient and convey a lot of information. So for the past day and a half, and I guess for another few hours, we've all been hearing a lot about the tremendous innovation coming out of the Israeli technology sector, and it really is remarkable, as witnessed in the most recent panel of all these multinationals. But what's been going on here, and what's probably less known, is that there's been tremendous fermentation and innovation also in the field of social entrepreneurship and social venturing. And that's what this panel is going to be talking about. As those of you who are not from Israel may not be aware, there are, alongside this whole startup nation, there are at the same time significant social issues. The education system is widely viewed as deteriorating in recent years. There are growing gaps between the haves and the have-nots, and significant sectors of the population, I'm speaking specifically about the Israeli Arab population, the ultra-Orthodox population, have been largely marginalized from the whole boom in the technology economy and in some cases in the economy more generally. And it's also become clear that the government can no longer do everything it needs to do on the social side. So we've seen the business sector and business people and companies increasingly step in. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We have four great panelists here, and I think that it's they're representative in a way of both the areas of innovation and education, innovation in the kind of relationships and partnerships between government, social organizations, business, and also representative of the application of new technologies to deal with and solve social problems. And so the way we're going to run this is we're going to have each of the panelists, including myself, take no more than 3 minutes to present the organizations, tell you the activities that they're involved with on the social side, just to give some context. And then I've prepared a few questions. Hopefully some of you will have questions. We encourage that. And hopefully we'll be able to get everybody excited about getting involved in doing social good as well as doing good business. So who's volunteering to speak first? Present. Moshe, you're nominated. You want to tell about your...
Hello, my name is Moshe Friedman. As you can see, I'm an ultra-Orthodox Haredi, as we call it in Israel. I was in yeshivot and organizations or institutions for religious studies until the age of 30. I didn't study science, I didn't study English, and I was very much inside the religion studies. At the age of 30, I took a decision to change the path of my life and start a startup company in the area of video editing online. I had experience in video and I started a company. I took a group of people, video editors, technological people, and we started a company. Then my path in the startup nation started. I went to a lot of conferences. I met with a lot of investors, and other entrepreneurs, customers. And I saw that the startup nation, I am not a part of the startup nation. I look different, I sound different. And the people of the startup nation have a problem to let me in. And I realized that there is a huge problem in Israel where there's very big groups in the society, the ultra-Orthodox, which are the 10% of the society in Israel, the Arabs, which are 20% of the society in Israel, are not part of the startup nation. And we are losing a lot of talent, a lot of great people that want to contribute, want to build companies, but because they look different, sound different, they miss the opportunity to contribute. 2 years ago, I was at DLD, and I met Yossi Vardi, And I told him about this issue, and Yossi introduced me to Zika Avzuk from Cisco, and he told me that the only one person in Israel that can help me do the change is Zika. And we started an initiative, we call it KamaTech, which is a coalition of the 30 biggest high-tech companies in Israel, including Cisco, IBM, Intel, Google, Microsoft, etc. And we took this enormous power of these multinational companies and their understanding of diversity, of inclusion, and we started a program to help ultra-Orthodox people integrate into the high-tech industry. I think that this is an amazing example of something that the government should do, or something that previously, in the traditional world, NGOs, amutot, charity organizations used to do. We are doing it in a different way. We are using the power of the high-tech industry. We are using the power of innovation, of technology, the know-how that exists in these companies, and we are using this power to change the society of Israel. I will give just a little bit of numbers. There is in Israel right now over 10,000 Haredi people which are already have the education and the ability to work in the high-tech industry, and most of them are not working. So we are solving here a real problem for the ultra-Orthodox community and for the Israeli high-tech community. Because if you have 10,000 people, a lot of talent, a lot of workforce that are not part of the work, not part of the innovation, both sides lose. And we use the power of innovation, the power of entrepreneurship to solve this problem, which could help the startup nation to be bigger, and which help the ultra-Orthodox society to integrate better into the Israeli society, which have a lot of added value.
Hi, I'm Lior Shalev. I'm involved in social entrepreneurship for the last around 8 years. I've got a small startup, a business startup with an ideology. We're trying to do a bit of a revolution in the Israeli education system. We build a social network for the education system, and we started with the most less budgeted area in the education scale, which is the preschool education. At the moment, where we have something like more than 20,000 preschools in our system that are working with the system. Besides that, I'm the vice chairman of Topaz, which is leading social entrepreneurship in Israel. It's an NGO. I'm involved in something like 5 more NGOs pretty much, which are on the seed level, still building up as an entrepreneur or as an advisor. And that's about it. I believe that entrepreneurship and business can go together. And I think that at Infogun, at the business side, this is what we're proving. We have business targets just like any other startup. But we also have a social agenda. And it shouldn't go either way. We can do both of them. It just has to be built inside the DNA of the startup itself. This is in short.
My name is Avi Shechter. And we started Olamundo about 2 years ago. Most of us are communicating easily using the most sophisticated applications and services, WhatsApp, the SMSs, voice calls, video calls, etc. But unfortunately, lots of other people that are in need are unable to communicate, and lots of them, such as autistic kids, etc., and non-verbals, have limitations and limited capabilities to communicate easily. And this is why we started, and I started it as a night job, again 2 years ago, and I have a small, very short video that I want to run and show you what it is about. Can we run the video, please?
Hello, hola. I would like to introduce you to Hola Mundo. Hola Mundo is an exciting new augmentative and alternative communication app. It's fun, easy to use, and appealing to young children. With Hola Mundo's help, your child can create sentences with ease. By simply selecting the desired illustrated words from our unique, beautifully crafted lexicon. Hola Mundo is the world's first and only symbolic remote communication system that allows you and your entire family to stay in close touch with each other. So whether you're near or far, you can always be close. Become a part of the Hola Mundo family. Let's give our children the most enjoyable and friendly communication experience we can. Hola Mundo. Near or far, always close. www.holamundo.com.
The product itself is going to be launched in Israel next month, and we are looking forward to support children and people in need and to provide them with this experience. Happy to talk about it later.
Hello, I am Boaz Sapir. I am from Hub Tel Aviv. I head the acceleration program at Hub Tel Aviv. We are part of an international network which is called Impact Hub, and our goal is to build the pipeline of companies which are what we call high impact companies, which means companies that have both a business goal and a social goal. And the business goal and the social goal should be together. So we are looking for the companies which find this win-win situation where the social goal is solved in a way which is profitable. And this is the core of our belief that social good and business should not be separate, but should as much as possible be one. And like Lior mentioned, the Infogun, which has in its DNA from the beginning, a business plan which also builds on the social potential. And the disruption should be a social change which is also profitable. And as I said, we are more an infrastructure organization, and our goal is to provide all the support to these young, very, very young pre-seed companies and to make them investable.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm Yadin, Kaufmann, and just a few words about the social ventures that I've been involved with after many years and still in the venture capital industry here in Israel. I started an organization called Tmura about 11 years ago, and I'll just tell you about that quickly, and have also gotten involved in recent years in a for-profit activity, which is the first fund investing in Palestinian companies across the Green Line in the West Bank, together with a partner there. We have an office in Ramallah, and that is a for-profit activity, but with a double bottom line. So looking to create jobs and build a knowledge-based economy in Palestine. But I want to tell you a few words about Tmura. Am I supposed to run the slides from here? Or we don't need any, yeah, just the Tmura. Okay, so Tmura was, as I said, I started it about 11 years ago, and with the help of a lot of good people, some of whom are here, and I'll refer to them. But the idea here was to find a way to share some of the wealth being created in the high-tech sector with the rest of the society, and in particular with education and youth activities. And the model is that we encourage tech companies, primarily early-stage private tech companies, to donate a fraction, a small fraction of their equity. It can be 0.5%, 1%. John Medved, who I saw here before, has given 3% of one of his companies. And companies donate that to Tmura. And then when some of the companies that have given us equity have a success, i.e. go public or are acquired, those options can be worth a lot of money, which then go to support terrific organizations. We had a lot of skepticism in the beginning. Would Israeli companies be willing to donate? Well, as you can see here on this slide, we've gotten 304 companies so far. I think this year we're going to get more new companies than any year in the past, and if anything, it's becoming more of a standard way of doing business in the tech sector here, and you probably recognize some of the great companies that are involved. Thanks. Okay. So also we found that the companies that donate tend to do well, and I think there's a connection there. These are some of the companies that have given us options and then gone on either to have a great acquisition or public offering or seen their share price increase. Notably, you're probably all familiar with a company called Waze. Was acquired several months ago by Google for over $1 billion. $1 billion. What you may not be familiar with is the fact that Waze was a donor of options to the community, and those options turned into over $1.5 million, which now have gone to support 5 terrific organizations here, nonprofits that are involved in the one on the top left is a youth movement for children with disabilities, programs that work with kids in disadvantaged neighborhoods after school. And by the way, part of the Tmura model is that each company that gives options can earmark its options for a specific organization. We don't have our own agenda. We don't run our own programs. We just help companies donate in a way that's very easy and painless for them because it doesn't use cash. So altogether, we've already realized over $9 million, which has gone to support some really fantastic organizations here. There's no shortage of great charities, and we've been happy to support some of those. This all happened because there's been tremendous support and participation by the high-tech community. You see some of the venture funds here. In fact, most of the active venture funds in Israel are partners in Tmura, which means that they encourage their companies to donate equity. They also contribute to Tmura's very modest operating budget, and there is and always has been a single employee, one person on the Tmura payroll, Baruch Lipner, doing a fantastic job. So we've been able to keep it very lean. In addition to funds, support from law firms, PR firm, printing, PwC I know is one of the sponsors here. They're also one of the supporters of Tmura, and many other organizations have stepped up. And some of them very active. Zev Holtzman is here from Giza. They've been very active and supportive. Zev's been on the board from the beginning. Eyal Gula, who I saw here before, has been very active in promoting this. So it's really thanks to all their efforts. So that's Tmura, and happy to answer questions about it later if anybody's interested. So let me start with the questions, unless somebody here has a burning question to ask any of our panelists. No, not yet. Okay. So, one thing I'd like to know is a couple of you have made the switch from the business world to the world of social entrepreneurship. Or maybe you, like Avi, you haven't made the switch completely, but you were in for-profit entrepreneurship, and now part of your time is being allocated to a venture with a social bottom line as well. I'm curious to know, for anyone who'd like to comment, is what was the moment or what was the factor that led you to decide to allocate some or all of your time to a social bottom line venture?